is the wealthiest man that ever lived on the planet. Hey there, welcome to Blessed Ones. You see, the quest for wealth has been as old as humanity itself, as mankind's search for wealth spans through generations of millions of years. The largest chunk of time in every human existence has been spent in search of wealth, power, and the good things it brings. While some have found riches, others are merely aching through life. While many had been able to amass wealth in great quantity, such as the world has never seen before and probably will never see again, these richest people of all time makes the current day's richest people look like apprentices. But who are these all-time richest people, and how much wealth did they acquire? Now, this list includes every generation of people and races ever known in history till date. Stick with us to the very end to find out who is the richest person to have ever lived. Well, before we proceed, kindly click on that subscribe button below so you can stay updated with the content I create for you. Number 10. Henry Ford, net worth 199 billion US dollars. One of the major figures in American business history, Henry Ford was able to put together a net worth totaling just under 200 billion US dollars. Ford, of course, is known for founding Ford Motor Company and bringing automobiles to the masses. A transportation revolutionary, he also was a trailblazer in industry and business, instituting higher wages for his workers and developing the concept of the assembly line, which allowed for the manufacture of inexpensive goods that the masses could afford. As owner of the Ford Motor Company, he became one of the richest people in the world. He is credited with Fordism, mass production of inexpensive goods coupled with high wages for workers. Number 9. Muammar Gaddafi, net worth 200 billion US dollars. One person who most readers are likely familiar with is Muammar Gaddafi, the recently deceased and overthrown ruler of the northern African country of Libya. Gaddafi is said to have controlled the vast fortune of 200 billion US dollars amassed during his 40-year rule over Libya. A highly controversial and divisive politician and ruler, Gaddafi was famously overthrown in 2011 during the Libyan civil war when he was dragged into the streets and killed by revolutionaries. Evidence is now pointing to Gaddafi having a vast hidden fortune of assets in bank accounts, real estate, and investments around the world. His personal control over Libya's vast oil fields are believed to be the primary contributor to his wealth. It's possible that Gaddafi was worth as much as $200 billion at the time of his death. Number 8. William the Conqueror, net worth 209 billion US dollars. William the Conqueror's wealth has been estimated to be about 209 billion US dollars. Best known for becoming the first Norman king of England, William reigned from the year 1066 until 1087. He led the final successful invasion of England, becoming a monarch after setting out to depose of one. He was also known as William the Bastard, and is thought to have been a descendant of Viking invaders from years before, which explains where he got his knack for invasion. Number 7. Jakob Fugger of the Lily, net worth 221 billion US dollars. He is known as Jakob Fugger the Rich, or sometimes Jacob II. But Fugger was a major merchant, mining entrepreneur, and banker of Europe between the year 1495 to 1525. He was a descendant of the Fugger merchant family located in the free imperial city of Augsburg, where he was also born. The foundation of the family's wealth was created mainly by the textile trade with Italy. The company grew rapidly after the brothers Ulrich, George, and Jacob began banking transactions with the House of Habsburg, as well as the Roman Courier, and at the same time began mining operations in Tyrol, and from 1493 on the extraction of silver and copper in the present Czech Republic and Slovakia. As of 1525, they also had the right to mine quicksilver and cinnabar in Almaden. Number 6. Mir Osman Ali Khan, net worth $230 billion. He was the last Nizam, or ruler of the princely state of Hyderabad and of Berar. Ruled Hyderabad between 1911 and 1948, until it was merged into India. He was styled His Exalted Highness the Nizam of Hyderabad. During his days as Nizam, he was reputed to be the richest man in the world, having a fortune estimated at $2 billion US dollars in the early 1940s, which is at 32.8 billion US dollars in today's dollars, or 2% of the US economy then. At that time, the treasury of the newly independent Union government of India reported an annual revenue of $1 billion only. You see, the Nazim was widely believed to have remained as the richest man in South Asia until his death in 1967, though his fortunes fell to $1 billion by then and became a subject of multiple legal disputes between bitterly fighting rival descendants. His wealth included a vast private treasury. Its coffers were said to contain 100 million pounds in gold and silver bullion and a full 400 million pounds of jewels. Number 5. Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. Net worth 300 billion dollars. Tsar Nicholas II of Russia, born in 1868 as Nikolai Alexandrovich into the House of Romanov, was the Emperor of the Russian Empire from 1894 until the February Revolution of 1917. Around the age of 48 in 1916, his wealth was valued at up to $881 million, which equals $300 billion in today's money. Nicholas II is probably most famous for being the last emperor of Russia before the country fell during the Russian Revolution. He is seen as the wealthiest monarch and head of state in history, and further as the wealthiest saint has the Russian Orthodox Church declared him, his wife, and his children martyrs after being murdered in 1918 by the Bolsheviks. At the time of his death, his net worth was $900 million, which is the inflation-adjusted equivalent to $305 billion in today's dollars, thus making him one of the richest people in human history. Number 4. Andrew Carnegie. Net worth $310 billion. Mr. Carnegie was born in Dunfermline, Scotland, and emigrated to the United States with his parents in 1848. Carnegie started as a telegrapher and by the 1860s had investments in railroads, railroad sleeping cars, bridges, and oil derricks. He built full wealth as a bond salesman raising money for the American enterprise in Europe. He built Pittsburgh's Carnegie Steel Company, which he sold to J.P. Morgan in 1901 for $480 million, creating the U.S. Steel Corporation. Carnegie devoted the remainder of his life to large-scale philanthropy, with special emphasis on local libraries, world peace, education, and scientific research. From the fortune he made from business, he built Carnegie Hall and founded the Carnegie Corporation of New York, Carnegie Endowment of International Peace, Carnegie Institution for Science, Carnegie Trust for the Universities of Scotland, Carnegie Hero Fund, Carnegie Mellon University, and Carnegie Museums of Pittsburgh, among others. His life has often been referred to as a true rags to riches story. Number 3. John D. Rockefeller. Net worth $340 billion. He was the founder of the Standard Oil Company, which dominated the oil industry. He was the first great U.S. business trust. Rockefeller revolutionized the petroleum industry and defined the structure of modern philanthropy. In 1870, he founded the Standard Oil Company and aggressively ran it until he officially retired in 1897. Rockefeller founded Standard Oil as an Ohio partnership with his brother William, along with Henry Flagler, Jabez Bostwick, chemist Samuel Andrews, and a silent partner, Stephen V. Harkness. As kerosene and gasoline grew in importance, Rockefeller's wealth soared, and he became the first richest man and the first American worth more than $1 billion. Adjusting for inflation, he is often regarded as the richest person in American history. Rockefeller spent the last 40 years of his life in retirement. His fortune was mainly used to create the modern systematic approach of targeted philanthropy. He was able to do this through the creation of foundations that had a major effect on medicine, education, and scientific research. His foundations pioneered the development of medical research and were instrumental in the eradication of hookworm and yellow fever. Number 2. Mansa Musa, a net worth of $400 billion. You see, Mansa Musa was the 10th Mansa, which translates as the King of Kings or Emperor of the wealthy Malian Empire. Musa made his pilgrimage in 1324. His procession reported to include 60,000 men, 12,000 slaves who each carried 4-pound gold bars, heralds dressed in silks who bore gold staffs, organized horses, and handled bags. Musa provided all necessities for the procession, fitting the entire company of men and animals. Also in the train were 80 camels, which varying reports claim carried between 50 and 300 pounds of gold dust each. He gave the gold to the poor he met along his route. Musa not only gave to the cities he passed on his way to Mecca, including Cairo and Medina, but also traded gold for souvenirs. Also, it has been recorded that he built a mosque each and every Friday. Musa's journey was documented by several eyewitnesses along his route, who were in awe of his wealth and extensive possession. Records exist in a variety of sources, including journals, oral accounts, and histories to support this. Musa is known to have visited the Mamluk Sultan Al-Nasir Muhammad of Egypt in July 1324. Musa's generous actions, however, inadvertently devastated the economy of the region. In the cities of Cairo, Medina, and Mecca, the sudden influx of gold devalued the metal for the next decade. Prices on goods and wares superinflated in an attempt to adjust the newfound wealth that was spreading throughout local populations. To rectify the gold market, Musa borrowed all the gold he could carry from money lenders in Cairo at high interest. This is the only time recorded in history that one man directly controlled the price of gold in the Mediterranean. The amount of gold he controlled is valued at $400 billion in today's market, making him one of the richest people ever lived. Number 1. King Solomon, net worth $2.1 trillion. You see, the Bible says that King Solomon held a fortune that dwarfed any and every person who lived before him. This made him the richest person ever lived in the world. King Solomon reigned for 40 years. Each year, he received 25 tons of gold. 1 ton of gold is worth $64.3 million at $200 per ounce. Therefore, 25 tons times 40 years of his reign amounts to $64,300,800,000. This did not include income derived from business, trade, nor the annual tribute paid to him by all of the kings and governors of Arabia. King Solomon's throne was coated in pure gold and inlaid in ivory. It had 6 stairs, 12 lion statues, and a solid gold footstool. 2 larger lion statues stood on either side of the throne. All of the goblets and household articles in Solomon's palace were pure gold. He was reportedly so rich that during the years of his reign over Jerusalem, the immense wealth caused silver to be considered of little value and as common as rocks. As such, nothing in Solomon's palace was made of silver. The same devaluation was noted of cedar wood in the region, a lumber which was considered to be of great monetary value and cultural significance by many societies at that time. However, throughout history, there have been richer men, yet sadly no richer women. Taking into account inflation and the value of wealth held, some say that King Solomon actually sits much further down on the richest people ever list, with the likes of Genghis Khan, Emperor Shang Tsung of Song, Akbar I, and Augustus Caesar all having their net worth in trillions of dollars taking precedence. But there is no true and exact way of determining what they were worth and if they were not exaggerated. So who do you like the most on this list? Who should and shouldn't have made the list? Leave a comment down below. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Blessed Ones. Thank you and bye for now.